Forecast. I'm Joseph, the host of the UFC Forecast, and we're back for the final predictions and bets for UFC Vegas 78. It's going down at the Apex, and this is a post-weigh-in face-off show. Vicente, Luque, Rafael dos Anjos in the main event. And on the early prediction show, I said this card wasn't too bad, but it's honestly a little bit chalky. Might be a little bit hard to hit some parlays here. So everybody, let's get some liquid courage, have a drink. Cheers, everyone. Hopefully everyone can find a bet. You can single bet too. That's what I'm going to be looking to do this week. Try to crush some single bets going into UFC Boston, because on UFC Boston, I'm seeing some parlays. I'm seeing a bunch more single bets I can make as well. So I want to bet lightly this week and conserve my bankroll, because UFC Boston's going to be a fucking banger. In the main event, Vicente Luque, Rafael dos Anjos. And dos Anjos is intense at the face-off. He got knocked out in the 5th round to Rafael Fiziev, but he had moments in that fight. He also submitted Brian Barberena recently and has that win over Rento Moicano. Those are all good wins, and he's looking very good in his fights. He's a former champion, and I think he's going to get the best of Vicente Luque in this fight. Vicente Luque is a finisher for sure, so if you're looking to bet him, probably by knockout, 11 knockouts, 8 submissions. Dos Anjos was never submitted, but he does have those 4 knockout losses. Other than that knockout, I don't see Vicente winning this fight. I think Rafael dos Anjos is going to get the takedowns and control time he needs to win this fight. He has 5 rounds experience, and he has really good cardio as well. So, former champ's going to get this one done. The 2 Brazilians are going to go to battle in the main event, and hopefully it's more entertaining than Corey Sandhagen and Ralph Font last week. And next up in the co-main event, we got Cub Swanson and the Canadian Hakeem. Hakeem's wearing the black do-rag, and he made weight. He looks ripped, ready to go. So with that being said, I think he's definitely going to get the best of Cub Swanson. Cub Swanson has moved down 20 cents. He was $3. He's now $2.80. Some people do like the Cub Swanson side. Hakeem's the play for me here. I think he's going to turn things around after that bad loss to Julian Erosa. Hakeem did beat Zabari Tukogov by a decision, so he's not going to get taken down, I don't think, in this fight. Like I mentioned on the early prediction show, Cub Swanson could get a takedown. He could, but likely not going to get a takedown. He probably is going to get knocked out, you know. Swanson's chin has been fading as he's getting older here. He got knocked out to Gigi Chikazde, and he got knocked out to Jonathan Martinez in his last fight. And Hakeem's all power, and he just walks forward. He averages a lot of strikes a minute. He's high volume. He has 7 knockouts and 6 decision wins. So, Hakeem, money line, he's definitely the play for me. But I could put a little sprinkle on that knockout. He's my Canadian boy, and I think he's definitely going to get it done. With Cub nearing retirement and him slowing down recently in his fights, I probably wouldn't waste too much money on him if you do like the underdog in this spot. And next up, we got my underdog of the week, Chris Daukaus, against the favorite, Khalil Rountree. And I'm not going to lie, Khalil Rountree does look pretty good. He's ripped as fuck. But Chris Daukaus, man, he made 205, no problem. He's a lot bigger in this fight. I think he's going to have a lot more power behind his punches. And he's going to come out there and storm surge him in the first round, man. Like, he lost his last 3 fights by knockout. He has 11 knockout wins. All of them are quite early. So, first round, Chris Daukaus is the play for me. Khalil Rountree has been hesitant in some of his fights. I know he has been picking up some wins and has some knockouts recently too. Some of you guys think he's going to get the knockout. Very well could happen, but I'm taking the underdog stab at Chris Daukaus. I took the stab at plus 175. He's now plus 140 on Betway. And both fighters at the face-off have their hands behind their back. They're ready to go here. One of them's going to get the knockout. I'm going with the underdog money. And he has a beard for the cushion too. I don't think Khalil Rountree is going to get the knockout shot. We got to remember Chris Daukaus, his last 3 knockouts were to Jairzinho Rosenstrike. Would have knocked out Khalil Rountree 100%. A knockout loss to Derek Lewis, no shame in that. Derek Lewis would have destroyed Khalil Rountree. And his other loss by knockout was to Curtis Blades, no harm, no foul. Blades is a big boy at heavyweight. And you're fighting those big guys now. You're fighting this small little guy in Khalil Rountree. I think he's going to have some success. And next up, we got Polyana Viana and Iasmin Lucindo. And this one I haven't bet yet. I don't think I'm going to either. I am going with Lucindo in this fight. She looks confident and ready to go. She looks like the more powerful girl, more masculine. Polyana Viana has a 100% finish rate, so she's going to win. It's going to have to be a finish. I definitely don't think Lucindo's going to get finished in this fight. I think it's going to go 15 minutes, and Lucindo's going to get it done on the judges' scorecards. And Iasmin is 10 years younger in this fight as well. She should have the better cardio. She has just as much pro experience as Polyana Viana. So Polyana isn't that active for being 10 years older. She doesn't have that much fights under her belt. I think Iasmin's the play all day long here. And I don't think Polyana Viana will get finished in this fight. She has 4 decision losses, one to Tabitha Ricci, the other to JJ Aldrich. This one's probably going to go the same way. And Polyana did get submitted to Veronica Hardy, but I think Lucindo's just going to get those takedowns. She's not going to do anything with it. Polyana Viana should have a good enough submission defense to avoid the submissions, but it's a women's fight. Wouldn't surprise me. Iasmin Lucindo's the play, and at 150, I might put that in a parlay. Cheers. And next up, we got AJ Dobson, Tafon Nchukwi. And Tafon was 189, so he was 4 pounds overweight. AJ took the fight. Original prediction, Tafon Nchukwi, possible knockout or a decision. Same thing here, right? 4 pounds overweight. He's going to hit hard in this fight. AJ is another guy that's a little bit hesitant. I think he's going to be hesitant once again. Tafon's a truck. He's going to be a lot better on the feet. I'm hoping Tafon's able to keep this fight on the feet. He has a 71% takedown defense, so he should be able to. Because AJ Dobson, that's his only path to victory here. Get the takedowns, get some control time. If he's not successful with that, he's definitely not going to be successful on the feet. Tafon's going to be the much better striker. And he's 28 years old, too. So a lot of people might look at him, think he's an older fighter, but that's not the case here. He's going to be younger. He's still hungry, and I think he's going to get this one done. And next up, we got Josh Fremd and Jamie Pickett. Another respectful face-off. They're all respectful. But Josh Fremd, he's coming in here 4 pounds overweight. Another guy, 4 pounds overweight. He's going to carry a little bit more power. He should. Like, he's going to be heavier. He also has that submission ability, too, which is Jamie Pickett's kryptonite. Got to ride with Josh Fremd here, man, especially when he's coming in this heavy. He's a lot taller in this fight. He has advantages with the grappling, and he should be able to find a submission here. He very well should be. Jamie Pickett, he's one of those bottom-of-the-barrel guys. Like, I don't know who he can beat in this division. Probably nobody. The 2 guys he did beat in the UFC were Star Poli and Joseph Holmes. And Josh Fremd's a lot better than those 2 guys. He should be able to wet blanket him on the ground, get the W here. I'm calling this submission. He's going to out-wrestle him. He averages a takedown and a half, 75%. The Nightwolf better have worked on his takedown defense because that's how Josh Fremd's going to win this fight. I do believe Jamie Pickett might have some power on the feet. He's super gun-shy in fights. He lacks IQ, and I will probably never bet on this guy. And next up, we got the prelims. And this guy, he's my most confident pick for sure. Marcus McGhee against JP Buys. Anybody who's doubting Marcus McGhee is going to look like an idiot because Marcus McGhee's the real deal. Came in here in his debut and made Journey Newson look like a journeyman. And in his second UFC fight against JP Buys, he's going to put Buys away, man. Like, he's going to knock him the fuck out. He has 6 knockout wins. He has that 1 submission win against Journey Newson in his UFC debut. His nickname's the Maniac, and he is a fucking maniac. I really do like this guy. You know, a little bit of a late bloomer, but I think he's going to have a really good run here in the UFC. He's training at the MMA lab with Kyler Phillips. Phenomenal work on the feet, 100% takedown defense. He's going to shine everywhere in this fight. And I don't mean to be rude, but anybody's side with JP Buys is absolutely out of their mind, man. Like, he got knocked out to Cody Durden, of all guys. And then he got submitted to a 4-8 opponent. Like, Marcus McGhee is going to get this finish 100%. I've been waiting to smash a bet on it all week. And I'm going to check on Betway right now to see if it's came out because all week I've been waiting to pound a bet on that. I don't see it going any other way. Like, I know you guys in the comments, some degenerates might think different, but JP Buys is going to get busted here. He's going to get busted up. Oh, Marcus McGhee, round 1, 240. I see some value in that. I see value in 240. Round 1. Method of victory. Marcus McGhee, $1.66 for the knockout. Submission, $7. Could happen again. It very well could. JP Buys knockout, $13. Submission, $8. Decision, $9. The books are against him. I'm against him. Like I said, I see people going with JP Buys. That's insane. That's insane in the membrane. Marcus McGhee finish, $1.50. You could probably parlay that. I think I will with something after the show here. Marcus McGhee's going to fight for your money. And next up, we got another guy that loves to fight for your money. 12 out of 13 wins in the very first round. On the early prediction show, I pulled out the tin hat, and I said Terrance McKinney's getting this first round finish against Mike Breeden. I still think the same fucking thing. I know a lot of people probably disagree. They're staying away from Terrance, but this is his turnaround fight. He gets it done here round 1. I know there's not much value in it. It's like $1.66, something like that as well. You have to pick the submission or the knockout prop if you want to make any money on it. But I can't snipe out which one it's going to be. He has advantages on the feet. He has advantages on the ground. In his last fight, he went to wrestle Nazem Sadykhov, ended up getting submitted. But he had the back of Sadykhov. If he had the back of Mike Breeden, would have submitted him. But on the feet, he can definitely knock out Mike Breeden, just like Alex Hernandez. And some people might not know Mike Breeden absorbs 6 strikes a minute, so on the feet he's not that good. Terrance McKinney, knockout, very live here. But then again, the submission's always live for Terrance. He has more submission wins than knockout wins. I'd probably look to parlay that finish, maybe with Marcus McGhee, someone else I'm super high confidence on. I think both these guys are getting it done. And next up, we got Francis Fire Marshall and Isaac Dulgarian. I was saying fucking Bulgarian. I was literally saying Bulgarian on the early prediction show. I'm fucking stupid. That's disrespectful. And I should switch my pick to the college wrestler Isaac Dulgarian, 5-0, 100% finish rate, all in the first round. Francis Marshall, high school wrestler, right? But this is how I see this one going. And I know a lot of people are back and forth on this one, 100%. So I determined this fight can only go 2 ways. There's plus money in either way. You can bet Isaac Dulgarian round 1. He has all round 1 finishes. Or you can bet the way I think it's going to go, Francis Marshall by finish. Came in here in his debut, got the knockout against Marcelo Rojo. He almost had that submission against William Gomes. A lot of other guys would have tapped. I thought that was a lot tighter maybe than it was, but I think he has the submission abilities to get this done. Maybe not the wrestling capabilities, but he can definitely sneak a submission or get a knockout here in this fight. And I forecast Dulgarian's going to gas out after that first round. He's never seen the second and third round. Fire Marshall's super hungry right now coming off that loss. He knows he needs to take it upon himself to get this win. I've watched some interviews. He's ready to go here. I think he's going to get the finish. And another thing to note, Dulgarian, his last couple wins, 3-4, 3-7, 0-1. He's not fighting the level of competition Francis Marshall is. He does have higher level wrestling capabilities, but based on that, I can't pick him to win here. And next up, we got a fight that I advise you to stay away from. It's a heavyweight fight that's probably going the distance. Martin Buday, Josh Parisian. Parisian needs to get a win eventually here, but I don't know if it's going to be against Buday. Buday is slow and kind of ugly and stuff like that, but he's pretty technical, good enough to get it done here. He's not going to get taken down against Josh Parisian, and he should be able to outstrike him to a decision here. But Josh Parisian, he can mix in those leg kicks. He has a little bit of power. He has a couple knockouts on his resume, but you know, these guys recently have been going the distance. It's been slow, and I don't like watching it. So just have a drink, have some fun during this fight. Don't fucking parlay it. Don't put your money on it. Because we got 2 women's fights to start off the night, and Damon Blackshear found an opponent, and I definitely think he can find something better to do with one of those fights rather than this slow, sloppy heavyweight. For the pick, though, let's go with Martin Buday being more technical, winning another decision. His last 3 wins were by a decision. And I said I wasn't going to put money on it. Now I'm scrolling through Betway here, ready to put money on it. Martin Buday decision, single bet. Let's see what it is. If there's any plus money in it, let's do it. Let's fucking do it, because that's what's going to fucking happen in that one. Have a little bit of action in the heavyweights, I guess. Fuck's sakes. We got Martin Buday decision, $250. $3 for the knockout. I don't think he's getting the knockout. He's getting it done by decision. His last 3 wins by decision. Parisian will push forward throughout the fight. Might have a couple big moments, but it's not going to be enough to win the fight. So $20 for $50. Martin Buday decision. Let's fucking send it. And next up, we got Montserrat Canheo and Jaqueline Amorim. And originally I was on Montserrat. She's coming off the 2-year layoff, but she's a high-level wrestler, right? And I thought the wrestling was going to get it done here. Jaqueline was not going to get the submission. Jaqueline has all first-round submissions. But I'm switching the pick. And now I'm super confident in the other side, Jaqueline Amorim. It's women's MMA. I know you shouldn't be betting them, but for my lock prop, I got to go with round 1, Jaqueline Amorim. I think she's getting it done here. She has a 6-inch reach advantage. Montserrat's going to look to wrestle, as she always does. She's going to get caught in something. And Sam Hughes was in serious trouble in that first round last fight. I know Sam Hughes isn't a great loss to have, but round 1 was all Jaqueline Amorim. She almost had that submission. And out of Jaqueline's 5 submission wins, she has a knee bar and an arm bar. She uses all of her weapons. She's a BJJ black belt. And when you have a girl coming off a 2-year layoff, pretty big underdog that's going to look to wrestle a BJJ black belt that has 5 submission wins all in round 1, I don't know what I was thinking on the early prediction show. This is the one I'm switching the pick on. I'm super high confidence Jaqueline's going to get that round 1 submission, everyone, but she does not have good takedowns. That's one thing to note. She struggles getting the takedowns. She has bad cardio, so just bet it in round 1. And next up, we got Damon Blackshear and his short notice opponent, Jose Johnson. And Johnson was my underdog of the week formerly, not this card. And when I seen he was fighting Damon Blackshear, I was like, uh-oh, like, this is not the matchup I wanted to see for him in his UFC debut. I know his Dana White Contender Series, he beat a 10-1 guy, Jack Cartwright, but Cartwright hasn't fought very high-level guys, in my opinion. Damon Blackshear knocked out Luan Lacerda, who was very, very high-level on the ground. Jose Johnson won't do anything there. And on the feet, he might have some advantages, but Damon Blackshear coming off that knockout win, I think he's going to be quite confident. He has a pretty decent chin. He only has 5 decision losses as latest to Freed Bastrat. So he's only losing decisions to pretty high-level guys. And if you're looking for a moneyline lock, Damon Blackshear is that guy. He's going to get it done here. Unfortunately, though, you would have had more value a couple days ago. A lot of people are picking him to win this week, and that's why he's steamed as the favorite. Let's get it. And next up, first fight of the night. Let's go to work here. And next up, we got my most confident pick on the entire card. Luana Santos versus Juliana Miller. And Juliana Miller looked like death at the weigh-in. I watched her weigh in, and she did not look good. And I even seen Clint McLean, diehard MMA, cash out on his Juliana Miller bet. I fucking love to see it. I fucking love to see that. Luana Santos has been locked since day 1. I got her at 172. And a lot of people are like, oh, why are you making a girl your lock? Oh, I actually do pretty good locking in these women fighters. So, and especially the Brazilians. Like, the Brazilians seem to like me, and they seem to put out when I bet on them. So I'm going to keep doing that. She has 3 submission wins, Luana Santos, 2 of them in the first round. She also has a background in judo, so she's going to be able to get takedowns, like, at ease here. Juliana Miller, taken down 4 times on 4 attempts her last fight. Like a 0% takedown defense, we're talking. A 26% striking defense. But I think this fight will mostly take part on the ground, because that's where Luana Santos is going to shine, right? It's 3 submission wins. I think she wants us to see some of that. I want to see some of that. I want to see Juliana Miller get submitted. She looked terrible at the weigh-ins. I've never been a fan of her. The Ultimate Fighter finale winner there, like, that was probably the worst Ultimate Fighter season we've seen from fighters. Low caliber. She beat Brogan Walker late in the 3rd round in the Ultimate Fighter finale there. She's super inexperienced, like 5 fights under her belt, 4-2, 3-2, I'm not sure what it is, whatever. Like, fucking horrible, man. She's no fucking prospect. I'm forecasting Luana Santos as a prospect people are going to have their eye on here. And next up, it's time for the lock and dog of the week. My lock of the week, it's going to be a single lock this week. Smartened up a little bit, but it's going to be a women's fighter. I know I say stay clear of women's fights, stuff like that, but that's just because I got burned on Valentina Shevchenko. There is some value in betting women's MMA, especially a sexy Brazilian like Luana Santos. She's going to get it done against Juliana Miller, who I don't think much of. Her takedown defense sits at about 0. Her striking defense sits at 26%. She has a lot of defensive weaknesses, and Luana Santos is going to take advantage of those. And next up, the underdog of the week. I know a lot of people are going to disagree, but I'm riding with Chris Daukaus coming down from heavyweight. I think the transition to 205 is going to do Daukaus good. He's going to find some success. He just fought filled-out heavyweights, Derek Lewis, Jairzinho Rosenstrike, Curtis Blades. Now he gets a guy like Khalil Rountree. I'm hoping he gets it done here. He started off his career in the UFC 4-0, all knockouts. I think he's getting back on track here, just like I think a couple other fighters are going to get back on track at UFC Vegas 78. But the one underdog, it's Chris Daukaus. And next up, it's time for the props of the week. And my lock prop, I mentioned it earlier, it's Jaqueline Amorim. Round 1, double up, plus 110. She's going to get it done in round 1. All finishes in round 1 for her. And after round 1, she's going to lose. 100% she'll lose, but I switched my pick, and hopefully it doesn't bite me in the ass like last week. I had Cody Durden all week, and then I switched my pick to Jake Hadley, and then Jake Hadley couldn't find the submission and lost the decision. The same thing could happen here, right? But I'm very high confidence that Jaqueline will find that round 1 submission. Super high level on the ground. And Montserrat's going to put herself in a very bad situation. She's been off for 2 years. She's a wrestler. I had to switch my pick with high confidence, as you can see. And next up, my value prop. It's my lock of the week, Luana Santos. And I'm going to snipe out this submission on that one. It's plus 500, 6x. And you guys know I have a little sprinkle on that. And if I can snipe that out, you guys know I'm going to get paid at UFC Vegas 78. So Luana Santos is not only in some parlays, but I'm going to snipe that submission. Let's get it. And next up, we got the underdog of the week. Another prop that I'm going to snipe because I'm not betting him on the money line. It's Chris Daukaus KO. I could even bet it in round 1 too, but knockout plus 350. So if Daukaus can hit that, you guys know I'm going to hit another one. And thank you guys for watching the final prediction show and bets for UFC Vegas 78. It's alright if you disagree with some of my picks because it's a pretty chalky card. Like I said, it's going to be tough to hit some parlays. And one thing I haven't mentioned yet, please smash that like button and suplex the subscribe button. I really appreciate that support. And we're on the road to 500 subscribers. We're almost at 400, so that's 100 away. And then we're going to give away $500 to one person. I'm going to set up a giveaway bot in Discord. And Discord's free. I post my locks, dogs, props of the week. We have a great community going and growing. And I hope to see you guys in the chat. Because next week we got UFC 292 in Boston. Sean O'Malley's going for the championship belt against Aljamain Sterling. We also got Weili Zhang against Amanda Lemos. And Ian Gary just got a fight against Neil Magny. Short notice, Neil Magny stepping up for Jeff Neal. A bunch of other banger fights on that card. And that's the main reason why I told everybody to conserve their bankroll. Go light on the bets this week. Because next week at UFC 292, it's going to be a fucking banger. And I'm hoping to have my show out probably Sunday for you guys. I'm going to record it Saturday morning and have it all edited, ready to post on Sunday. Have it out there a little bit early for you guys, so stay tuned. The forecast is going nowheres. Hope everybody crushes their bets and gets their vengeance in Vegas. And before I go, let's crush this last drink.